Namaskar. I am Sanjay Mansukhani from ChangeDestiny.in. I am a teacher of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Dear friends, we have been going through these talks for some time now. Probably it has been about 100 days or so. Today we will look at a very distinct connection between time and gunas. Gunas are the qualities of Prakriti. So Patanjali, in this fourth chapter on absolute independence, on Kaivalya, has covered the relationship, the connection between time, that is the past, present and future, with reality, and in terms of different gunas of Prakriti. So this is covered in 4 sutras here of the 4th chapter. Sutra number 12, 13, 14, it's from 12 to 14, these 3 sutras. So let me just in a brief look at these sutras and then we will go into the commentary on these sutras. So sutra number 12, it says that both the past and the future are real. They exist, but they only differ. They differ from the present only in terms of the time of manifestation and the characteristics of it. So we will look into this sutra a bit in detail. Coming to the next sutra, the 13th sutra of the 14th chapter. Here he says that all 3, that is the past, present and the future, have only the gunas, the qualities of Prakriti as their essence. And these 3, the past, present and the future, may be present only in 2 ways. Either they are manifest or they are latent. So this sutra also, dear friends, we will cover in detail. And the third and the final sutra on this connection between time and the gunas, that all things, all objects, anything which you see in this world is real. And it is real because it is the gunas which is present in objects, and these gunas are uniform and they actually are the substratum of all change. So this concept of the connection between time and gunas is very important to understand, because herein lies the theory of causation of Satkaryavad. If you understand this, then you can travel into the past and into the future with complete ease, as deep into the past and into the future you wish to travel. So it is all like unraveling all the past and foreseeing, seeing all the future together at the same time in the moment. And how do you do that? You do that simply by looking at the present. Yes, dear friends, this is the most important element of this particular 3 sutras. This helps us to move in time, both forward and backward. And remember, when you move in time, then in that time when you move, matter itself changes. And if you acquire the ability to move in time, both forward and reverse, future and past, then what does it signify? All of us can think a bit into the past and a bit into the future. But once you understand these sutras, once you apply it in your life, and once you are able to do samayama on them, if you are able to do intense concentration, meditation and samadhi on the connection between time and gunas, then you develop the magical ability to see ahead in time beyond your wildest imagination. And you are able to see in the past beyond your wildest dreams. What it means is, you will be able to see your future lives, you will be able to see your past lives, and you will not only be able to see it for yourself, you will be able to see it for all living beings. You will be able to see it for all objects. So then you acquire a power over this Prakriti by which you will be able to see the past, see the future for all objects, for all times to come, for all living beings, for all times to come, and even yourself. You will be able to see your past lives and your future lives. So let us start from the 12th sutra of this chapter 4, where he says the past and the future are here, very much here in reality, but they only differ from the present in one aspect, and that aspect is the time of manifestation, in the characteristics which that object will display, will show in the past and in the future. Otherwise, it is essentially the same. Therefore, it is real. So here it is interconnected also with the sutras which were given in the 3rd chapter, sutra numbers 9 to 15. And there we had understood that the transformation of matter is important to understand, because from here one can pick up the context and the science of the mystic powers. When one is able to understand the transformation of matter, and one is able to discuss these sutras in the context of the metaphysics of objects in external reality, then it gives you power. It gives you power to do many unforeseeable things. So let us look at what Vyas has said on this. Vyas was a major commentator on the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, and what Vyas says is that which does not exist cannot come in this existence, and that which does exist can never be destroyed. So dear friends, if you look at the way science looks at it, science says matter cannot be created nor destroyed. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another. So this is precisely what the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali are talking about. This is precisely what Kapila Muni spoke about many thousand years ago. And this is precisely what the Gita also speaks, which is about more than a couple of thousand years old. So what it says is, of the non-existent, there is no being. If there is something which is non-existent, then there is no being of it. And if there is something which is existing, then it cannot cease to exist. So the conclusion which is given here by the rishis who knew the truth is that there essentially are 3 phases of time, and we all know what these 3 phases of time are: the past, the present and the future. And the only difference between these 3, if you understand my words, then listen carefully. The only difference between these 3, the past, the present and the future, is that the past was already manifested. It is in the Atita. The future is yet to manifest. It is in the Anagata. It is coming. And the present is that which is already manifesting in the now. So friends, what it means is all three exist in a sense. And this is what the sutra states here. And this is the object of knowledge for a yogi. A yogi focuses his attention on the past, on the present, on the future, knowing that all three of them are interconnected. They are connected by a chain of events, by cause and effect. It is the past which brings the present. It is the present which brings the future. So how can the three be independent of each other? If the present is existing, is real, then definitely the past is also existing and is real. The future is also existing and is real. But these three are only existing in different points of time. And depending on those different points of time, they have different conditions. They exist in different conditions. So if you remember, we had covered in the chapter on Siddhis about the dharma, the lakshana and the avastha of any object which is existing in this creation. The dharma, the lakshana and the avastha of any sense, any evolute of prakriti, mind, buddhi, ahankar, all of them are existing in time. All of them have a past, a present and a future. So dear friends, today the past and the future may be unmanifest, but they are definitely latent in the present, and their existence is very real. The future does not come out from nowhere. It does not come out from nothing. The future always comes from the present. And the past does not fade away into nothing. Both past and future are perceivable. They can be seen by those who are able to have the skill, the knowledge, the ability to see the finer causal levels of present reality. If I can see what is causing the present reality, because the present reality is an effect of some cause in the past, then I can see the past. If I can see the present as the causal reality of some effect in the future, then I can see the future. And why is it so simple? Because in the principle of Satkaryavad, as given in the Sankhya philosophy of Kapila Muni, he clearly states that the cause and the effect exist together in Prakriti, but one can see only one at a time because they are shifted in time. And at one point of time, a normal person is able to see existence only in one time. So, to give an example, if I have a mango seed, then there is definitely a mango tree also there in that same existence. But my sense organs are able to perceive the present mango seed in my hand. It is not able to perceive, my sense organs cannot see or touch or feel or hear or smell or taste the mango tree because it is in the future. It is shifted in time, but that does not mean the mango tree does not exist. The mango tree very well exists at that point of time. Similarly, if I have a mango tree, then there is a mango seed from which that tree has come about. So looking at the tree, looking at its condition, looking at its age, looking at its state, one can find out how old is the tree, and then one can predict or project in the past how many years back was the seed planted. And looking at the tree, looking at the fruits, one can predict what seed was put into the soil. I mean, what type of mango seed was put into the soil. One can even see into the past and see where did that seed originally come from. If what I see in front of me is a mango tree, where Alfonso mangoes are there on the tree, then definitely the seed was an Alfonso seed. Looking at the condition of the tree, looking at the lakshana, the time element of the tree, I can predict how many years back was the Alfonso tree planted. Looking at the conditions of the various mango trees, I can say where this Alfonso tree is originating from. Is it from Ratnagiri in Maharashtra? If it is from Ratnagiri in Maharashtra, then I can easily predict the origin of that Alfonso seed, Alfonso mango seed. So dear friends, it is possible by looking at an object and its gunas, the qualities that that object is portraying, one can predict the past, one can predict the future. And remember, even the past is real because Ratnagiri is real, Maharashtra is real, Alfonso as a mango is real, Alfonso mango seed is real, the Alfonso tree in front of me is real, the Alfonso mangoes on the tree is real, and the Alfonso seeds which will come out of the mango tree and create new mango trees in the future is also real. So this simple understanding, this contemplation of this sutra in the form of dharana, dhyan and samadhi, in the form of samayama, leads to deep intuition, deep insights, and this is what gives you supernatural knowledge, supernormal knowledge which a normal man does not have. If you have the power of discrimination, if you have the mental faculty of deep concentration, you will be able to go back in time on this chain of cause and effect by a few years, by a few decades, by a few centuries, by a few thousands of years, and you can go back as much as you want depending on your ability to see the chain of cause and effect, depending on your ability to have pragya, intuition, insight, depending on your ability to connect the past reality with the future reality, looking at the present reality. If you have a clean mind, if you have a pure mind, if you have a sattvic mind, if you have the power of concentration, if you can do dharana, dhyan and samadhi together at one time, one place, looking at the mango tree, looking at the mango seed, then yes, dear friends, you can go thousands of years back and come out with insights. And this ability to look thousands of years back and also thousands of years in the future gives you the siddhis on predicting about the mangoes and the mango trees. So dear friends, very, very important to understand this sutra. Shankaracharya says that the cause and effect are always connected. There is no way that the yogurt or the curd, the effect of a curd is not there in milk. The effect of being formed into curd is always there in milk. And under the right conditions, milk will turn into curd. So when you are looking at milk, can you see curd in it? No, you cannot see curd in it. But the effect of the curd is already there in that milk. And when you are looking at the curd, can you see the cause of the milk in it? Yes, you can see the cause of the milk in it. Now let me ask you a question. Looking at the curd, if you can look at the cause of the milk, that the milk has caused the curd, then definitely you can also look what has created this milk. Then you would know it is an animal which gives milk which has created this milk. So you will have an idea कि it could be a cow, it could be a buffalo, it could be a goat, or it could be a milk of some other animal. It could be the milk of a tigress. It could be the milk of a cat, any mammal which gives milk. It could be the cause. Now again, looking at the kind of curd, it will give you an idea as to what kind of animal has given the milk from which this curd has come. So dear friends, and then you can go further back. If you have pinpointed the animal, then you can go back probably 10,000, 15,000, 50,000 years back into the past and predict and say from what animal form had this particular animal come. You can say that the cow has come from such and such animal 50,000, 20,000, 1 million years back, because there has been an evolution of animal forms. There has been an evolution of mammals from reptiles. So definitely there must have been a reptile who would have resembled a cow. So then you go back to a reptile. Then further, if you have the ability to look, to dive deep, to go deep into concentration, do meditation on that and enter into the state of samadhi, then you will also be able to predict further what has caused that reptile. And as you go back and back and back and back, you will probably reach the first living microorganism which came on this planet. And if you have the ability to go further deep, then you will go back probably where that microorganism came in the first place. Did it take birth on this planet, or has it come from some other star, or has it dropped onto the earth from empty space? So dear friends, even today, scientists with all their laboratories and theories and education cannot really say how life evolved in its original form. What is the first life form of this creation? They do not know. But a yogi, with the power of his mind, with the ability to go back in time, using the principle of cause and effect, holding on to the chain of cause and effect, and going back by each effect, each cause, each effect, each cause, he can go back millions of years, billions of years. If he is a yogi of the topmost order, he can go back into different previous universes. He can go back beyond the Big Bang into the universe before the Big Bang. So dear friends, that is the power of yoga. That is the power of concentration. That is the power of meditation. That is the power of samadhi. That is the power of samayama. And why? Because it is completely scientific. It is based on the theory of cause and effect. It is based on the theory of the mind, and tapping into the power of the mind to see the reality as it is. And reality has always been there. Reality is there in three formats: the objective format, the subjective format, and also the spiritual format. The spiritual format is a format which in Patanjali Yoga Sutras is called Ishvara, Purusha and Prakriti. These three principles, these three tattvas, they are essentially the spiritual realities of our creation. And again, as per Patanjali, if you look at the chitta, that is the mental reality of this existence in the mental dimension. And chitta is defined as a combination of three: the intellect, the ego, and the mind. And if you go further deep into this yogic philosophy of Patanjali, then the outer world of objects, the outer physical reality, is made up of the five gross elements, the Panch Mahabhutas of earth, water, fire, air and ether. So dear friends, these three realities are interconnected. These three realities are eternal. These three realities are permanent as per yoga, as per the Sankhya philosophy. They have always been there. And it is a yogi who with his mind can move in time. You and I can also move in time. We can think about the past, we can think about the future. But since we are not trained to do this, our schooling system, our education system, our college system does not teach us this. They have not focused on this particular aspect of human life, that is time and moving in time with the mind. But the yogis have concentrated on this. The yogis have devoted huge amount of time and effort in understanding this. And that is why a yogi is able to travel in time. A yogi has understood the principles of this creation. A yogi has defined all the creation in certain number of tattvas. The Sankhya theory of creation, of the evolution of creation, defines it in 25 principles, 25 tattvas. But this is that theory which does not have Ishvara or God into it. If you bring in the God element, the God tattva, the God principle, which has been brought in by Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras, then you will find there are 26 principles of the evolution of this creation. And if you, my dear friend, apply your mind, meditate on these principles, these tattvas, you will have tremendous insights into who you are, into what this creation is, into what your connection, relation, correspondence is with this creation, and how can you mold, modify, change this creation so that your goals in life, your desires in life get fulfilled. And how can you achieve permanent happiness by the manipulation, by the adjustment, by the modification of the creation you have received by default at birth. That is yoga, when you go back and re-evolve your reality, when you go back to the source and modify all that you are trapped in. So dear friends, that is the interesting aspects of these Yoga Sutras. The 13th Sutra, to put it in a very short term, says all three, past, present and future, they definitely have some element of mind, body, matter in it. And mind, body, matter is nothing but Prakriti. And Prakriti at all times, whether latent state, unmanifest state, or the manifest state as an evolved state, it has these three qualities. The qualities of Rajas, Sattva and Tamas. Rajas means change. Sattva in simple terms means formlessness. And Tamas in very simple terms means having a form, the quality of form, the quality of formlessness, the quality of change. So dear friends, you will find everything in Prakriti, including the mind and matter, constantly changing, constantly coming into form, constantly going out of form. So these gunas are common in all time, whether you are in the past or you are in the present or you are in the future, you will find these three things constantly happening. And all of them, all objects, anything which is a combination of these gunas, be they at any stage of evolution, be they in any permutation and combination of these three basic gunas, they all are real and they all are objectively real, because the gunas are uniform in all forms of matter, in all forms of mind, and these gunas only bring about change. So this is the way Patanjali has explained the connection between time and the gunas of Prakriti. In fact, Prakriti, since it is constantly changing, so if there is no time, then Prakriti will be changeless. And if Prakriti becomes changeless, then what will be the difference between Prakriti and Purusha? Because Purusha is pure consciousness. which is unchanging, non-changing at all points of time. And Prakriti is that element of this creation which is constantly changing. So when you mix what is constantly changing with what is constantly not changing, then you create the mind, and that mind is the seed of the cosmos that creates the entire cosmos. And that mind, that seed of the cosmos, becomes the cause of all human sorrow in this creation. So dear friends, then the journey of yoga is to come out of this sorrow permanently, and the only way to do that is to remove the mind from both Purusha and Prakriti. So mind is a combination of elements of Purusha and Prakriti. So when we start to clear the mind, clean the mind, purify the mind, then we find, and the ultimate stage, the mind becomes so pure that it ceases to exist and it resembles the pure consciousness. And that is the stage, dear friends, when we have liberation, mukti, kevalya, absolute independence for the Purusha from Prakriti. So dear friends, this metaphysics is important to understand, because then it gives you a deep insight into our whole creation. And once you have insight into anything, then let me tell you, you have the power over its working. And when you have the power over its working, that means you can change what you have understood into something else which you desire, which you want. So these sutras allow you to gain that experience of understanding Prakriti, knowing its secrets of working, and then the ability to change. And this ability to change, normal people in the world outside consider as siddhis or mystic powers. Fine friends, so with that I come to the end of today's talk. I thank you immensely from the bottom of my heart for being here and listening to this talk. I'm sure it will help you to achieve permanent happiness in your life. And the purpose, the intention of giving these talks are that once you are able to achieve permanent happiness and joy within you, you share it with people in your family, you share it with people of your society, people of your country, and the people of this world at large. And when that permanent happiness permeates into our society on a world scale, then we will have a happy planet, and we will be able to pass on this happy planet to all our forthcoming generations. So that is the goal, that is the objective we are looking at, and that is the purpose of these talks. So I thank you once again for being here, and I look forward to meeting you tomorrow, same time at 7 p.m. Thank you, dear friends. God bless you for being here and listening to the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. You are a blessed soul, and may your blessings ever increase, and may you shine in society. Thank you so much once again. God bless you.